Right, we're live, Dee. Welcome back
Hello,
to Perpetual-Time. How's
welcome.
Dee?
Not bad. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Perpetual and the D-Time Love
Love
Show.
show.
Oye, agapes. Ladies and gentlemen, too. So, is anyone joining us yet, or what's...
Still early, you know. We've got 3 people watching. Got 3 people. So, Dee, talk to me. How was your weekend?
my weekend?
Hmm.
I've had better weekends, that's for sure. I would
Why is
say
that?
dealing with my personal issues with break-ins and things,
Yeah.
as you're probably aware of, Alex.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just keeping it cool, positive, and just cracking on, and not allowing the situation to take control of my life. You know how it is. But
Yeah.
all
Yeah. I
good,
mean,
mate. All good. I've had a good week so far. Very
yeah.
positive. A
How's
lot of
that
things
going,
on the
though?
card. Yeah. Look, the police have reopened the investigation because I got a letter saying that there wasn't enough evidence to basically proceed with a case, basically. But put it this way, there's new evidence that's come to light. There's
Hmm?
been basically potential witnesses that have come forward, I've been told, whatever that means. So, and this is uphold, basically, in regards to the vehicle. So I don't know exactly what they did, but they must have hit another car. This is great news for me. So now people have come forward in regards to the situation. So I'll keep you guys posted.
Good. Good. Yeah. I mean, my weekend was all right. I went out.
I noticed you're a bit hanging last time
I'm
we
a-
spoke, Alex. Unlike that professional stance that you have.
Well, I had a few whiskey
Oh
sours. You ever had
wow,
a whiskey sour?
whiskey sour. No, I haven't actually. What is a whiskey sour?
Oh,
What
it's
what, what
nice. Basically, what
monstrosity is
it's
that?
whiskey sour was a bit sour in taste. I think it's got like a bit of orange in it. Very
Okay.
strong. And then I think I had did I have an espresso martini as well? And I went to was it Bread Street, which is a new restaurant in Liverpool, Gordon Ramsay.
Oh right,
Uh,
okay. Fine
and
dining, Alex. What's going on? They're not
oh,
normal like
yeah, man.
your micro foods that you have, right? Normally, like measuring how much you're going to eat. You went into
No, I went the
Gordon
whole
Ramsay.
hog. I went the whole
My
hog. I
wow,
had what did I have? I had calamari, which by no means was like our calamari. Like proper
baby
Greek
calamari or
calamari.
just a
No, it wasn't baby one. It was just the uh, it was just the kind of like typical, not typical. It was nice, but it wasn't the baby. Where it's got like the little tentacles and all that, where it's like
yes,
nicely
yes.
fluffy fried. It was nothing like that. And then it had like a big pork, like pork and like cherry for Maine, with all the milla, with all the fat on it, and I ate the
Oof,
fat as
oof.
well.
That's a real man talk now. That is when
I
you're talking
know.
about man eating the fat of the meat.
Did
We've
I eat
got
all the
Dodger in the
fat though?
house.
Hey,
Can
Dodger,
you?
how are you? Dodger's having trouble with mosquitoes at the moment.
Zivania, my friend. Zivania is a Greek alcohol drink, hundreds of years old. Where I think it's if you get it from the old Greek mainland, I think it's like 49% alcohol, Alex.
No, I think
You
it's
know,
more.
you
It's
think so?
flammable. Well,
Yes,
it's a
yeah,
percentage where it's flammable, isn't it? So I think isn't that 40% plus flammable?
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah,
48%
yeah.
alcohol. I put it this way: when people had flu or colds, when I was at school, my gran said, "Look, leave it with me." Instead of getting rubbed down with Vic, I was rubbed down with this alcohol called Zivania, and my
Zivania.
chest would be like I was on fire, But it was good stuff, Dodger. I would try that out.
Listen,
Get
if you want
down
to
to
have a
your
good time,
local.
you drink Zivania, or you can use it as a jewelry cleaner as well. It does everything,
Yeah,
Zivania.
as a watchmaker, you've probably ultrasonic cleaned a few watches with Zivania, Alex. Yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Zivania is very versatile. It's like Windex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Alex, what have you been up to? What's happening in the world of Perpetual-Time?
Me? No, listen, I've just been doing a lot of strip downs and watches, rebuilds, you know. I've got so much work to do. I'm actually behind, which is a good thing, to be honest, because I've got plenty of work to get through. And it's quite funny because I had a customer that came to see me not long ago who wanted me to fit a battery in his Omega Seamaster. And the last time I saw him must have been, over 5 years ago. And when I saw him that last time, he bought a Tag Heuer from Chrono 24.
Okay.
And he wanted me to change the links in it. And I had to tell him, what do you think I told him?
You told him no.
No, the watch is fake.
No.
He bought the watch from Chrono 24 and it's fake. Yeah, and
yeah, I remember you telling. Oh God, yeah. Sorry, Alex. I was just noticed that you've got 100 people watching, Alex. That's not bad for a watchmaker. You know, just a watchmaker.
Just a watchmaker. All I am, I'm just a watchmaker. Keep being told this, yeah. So, what happened is that I said to him, listen, not only am I not willing to work on the watch at all, it's fake. And he was gutted. So he couldn't do anything, Dee, because on Chrono 24, as much as they say that they have some sort of, what's the word? They don't actually check the watches, but they have like this kind of escrow.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, now I'm going to say as far as I know from what I've read, please tell me if I'm wrong, that when you get the watch, it's your due diligence to check the watch. They don't check it out for you prior, like what eBay are basically trying to do now.
Yeah.
So he had the option, but the option is where he has to take it somewhere and then he has to show that it's fake and get correct documentation. Because I've done this before for another watch from Chrono 24, which was actually fake. And I actually gave it to Paul Thorpe and he shot it with a rifle on one of his videos because it was no good
fantastic.
to me.
I would love to see that video, to be fair. So,
but unfortunately, Paul Thorpe wasn't willing to say that it was from Chrono 24, and he wasn't willing to say how and the reason why, which I was quite annoyed. I was quite disappointed with, because I wanted to show that it's all well having an escrow, but at the end of the day, you have to do the due diligence and checking the watch. They don't. So that escrow period passed. So I asked him, what did you do with the fake watch? And he said, Alex, when I told them that I brought it to you and it was fake, they gave my money back. Now, the thing is, I didn't even do a report on that watch, but they were willing to give his full refund back. And they said, you can keep the watch. Wow. But the problem was he tried to give it to me again to fix. And I said, listen, I don't touch Seftiga Roloya. You know, I don't touch fake watches. Full stop.
Yes.
So, you know, he had to respect my, you know, what I was saying. But it just goes to show, at the end of the day, Chrono 24, for me, I don't want to disrespect the company, but people are given the option for an escrow. And it's almost like the illusion that the watches are being checked, but they're not. You have to do your own due diligence. So that's why what eBay's doing makes sense. But a lot of people still won't buy off eBay because it's not focused on watches purely.
Yeah.
But at least they're doing some due diligence prior to the watch being checked.
Sorry to go off subject, Alex, but I've just noticed something. This is like an all-in exclusive announcement. Alex is wearing a different T-shirt. I've never seen you on the live stream wearing a different T-shirt, mate. This is like, what are you wearing today? This is the time
for nutrition. Now, it's quite funny that I'm a watchmaker and the company that I use nutrition is called Time. This is an excellent. Now, once again, I just want to say I don't get paid. I'm not sponsored by this company. Have no association with them by any contract, but I use them for all my nutrition. So pre-workout, bulking, also protein, creatine. So I use all their products, and it is very good. It is pure, very, very. It's even the creatine is easily diluted with water or orange juice. It's not that, you get a lot of like, when you mix creatine, it just lumps. None of that. It's just good, good.
We've got Ian Nicholson in the house. Hello, Galispera, brother.
Yeah. Galispera, Ian.
O Kumbaros mas. He's been adopted as one of our fellow Greek compatriots, hasn't he? Good old Ian.
So what else is happening with you, Dee?
Look, I'll be honest with you, I don't know what it is, but I'm absolutely shattered. To be honest with you, I'm here as in the trenches with Alex on the live stream today. I'm actually feeling it, this week. Lack of sleep has caught up with me, to be fair. And just literally trying to crack on, if you know what I mean. I've had a lot to do, but no excuses. Content will be coming out. I've had a lot of good business meetings with watch brands. So a lot of exciting things to come to the channel. I mean, really, really good stuff. So I can't disclose now, but I'm sure everyone that when they see what we're doing, having even a film crew, Alex, that you'll be part of, I think they're going to be shocked in terms of the level of production and what exactly we're going to be doing. So a lot of exciting things to come on the channel.
I think it's fair to say that, I mean, most people may say, the only reason why Dee and Alex have got together is because we have similar backgrounds because parents are Greek. No. It goes a lot more deeper than that. The fact that me and Dee are together is because Dee is actually in the business of recruitment for companies such as Watches Switzerland and others, for watchmakers or salespeople. Plus, you do reviews on watches, so you know your stuff. And it's not about the amount of subscribers, it's the content that's given. Plus, whatever you're told, you research it before you broadcast it out, because unfortunately you have to be very careful with what you say in this business, because it can cause problems in the future. Now, I'm somebody that not only has the accreditations that I have, and it's the first time ever that a watchmaker has got with a YouTuber, accredited watchmaker in terms of WASTEP and FBHI and BHI, I can go on, and such as yourself, it's the first time that has ever happened. I have no agenda. I just, whenever I look at a watch, I look at it from inwards to outwards. It's just something that I do. It's something that I just look at it and look inwards to outwards from what I'm experienced. So whatever, if I comment on that watch, it's from my own experience, or maybe from people I trust. But I prefer it's from my experience. But I don't wish to say anything that may cause conflict. I've also worked for Watches Switzerland. I've also worked for Goldsmiths. So I have respect for ADs, because I know how difficult it is and how their jobs are on the line with a mystery shopper. And a mystery shopper could be mostly from Rolex, where they come in acting very, well, you would never have guessed they were a mystery shopper. They get chatting to you, and before you know it, what would you do for me? This, would you do this for me? Would you do that for me? And before you know it, it's a report and you lose your job. You've got to be very, very careful. Like I keep saying, don't be going in there with a fake Richard Mille. Don't be renting an expensive car. Be yourself, because if you're trying to buy it to resell, they're going to suss you out.
Well, they do investigate. They've got a technique now where they ask for people's business cards. They take your details down, your current employment status and stuff like that. These are all things they've added to the system, and they'll check you out on LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn doesn't tend to lie, does it? You'll be fair. Oh, we've got a Christopher Ward fan in the house.
Alex, I just purchased a CW Sealander GMT after this. Now this is what look. He's like Dee's wearing one. Now as Dee knows, Christopher Ward paid me nothing. actually cost me money, and the reason is because of the production of the video. But I was very honest in what I said, because inside to out, the watch is superb. I'd find it it's very difficult to find a brand new watch, not pre-owned, a brand new watch with the warranty terms that they give, and also if you're not happy with it as well, you can return it. It's superb. Because I feel as though I've been quite naive to not lower end brands, to maybe micro brands or middle range brands, because I'm so used to, which I'm blessed to have. I'm so used to seeing expensive brands. But the thing is that a lot of these companies that are coming out now expect to be on top with these expensive brands. And as soon as they hit a certain mark or price point, people go, there's no point me buying that watch. I can go and buy a Rolex. Or I can, well, unfortunately, that's how people think. Really, you should buy a watch that you like. And this is where the market, the Rolex market, has dropped. And I'm going to say this now. It ain't going to go up. That's why I keep saying to people, buy pre-ceramic sports Rolexes at good prices, because you won't lose. On these ceramic models, if you paid over RRP, you're in trouble. You're in trouble if you're buying to resell or for investment. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Look, the market has changed, Alex. Look, I've had some to be honest, I've had about 6 calls today. People basically complaining about price drops, being a little bit depressed about it all, not being able to flip stock. Dee, can you help me sell these timepieces? And I'm like, well, look, I don't have a magic wand that I can summon up customers, if that makes sense, to buy the watch at the price that you want to sell it at, to be honest with you. But look, I think now, if you're credible and you've got a good portfolio of clients and you know people that have the cash to spend and you offer them a good deal, you probably could tempt them to buy and maybe break even, Alex.
Yes, and I will say this, that the market in China, because of the COVID, it closed, and people are saying, well, once it opens up, it's going to go up. No, I can't see an olive day date going back to 60, 70 what it was before. Can you?
No, but I've just noticed something in the chat. Dodger got a ceramic at list.
No, got me a ceramic at list. So Dodger, okay.
Oh, right. Okay. I was about to say.
Got me a ceramic at list. Did he get one or not? Does that mean he got one or not?
I'll tell you what. Did you get my email, Alex, from that subscriber? I won't mention his name. Anonymous subscriber.
Yes, I did.
Who's got a buying history with one of the big ADs, who won't mention their name for obvious reasons.
But also, we still don't know 100%.
100%.
So we have to say allegedly.
Yes.
We have to say allegedly.
We assume it to be the truth, but we're not. I would say I'm 75% there. We haven't seen actual evidence. It's more hearsay at this moment in time, but I don't believe the person has any real reason to lie. And we've asked them on to the stream to share their experience. So we're still waiting for them to get back to us. But this is someone who walked into the ADs that are selling pre-owned watches. Let me get the message, actually. Let me just read some of it out, because he said he's happy for me to discuss it to a certain point. Bear with me, guys.
As you look for that, we've got Uncle Jonga in, which is great to see. It's good to hear that Dodger got at list. So people, these dealers, ADs, ADs are willing to sell at list. It's how you come across. It's how you are as a person. If you walk in, Billy Big Balls, trying to offer them money under the table, it's not worth their job. It's not good, I hear that grey dealers are buying at 30. What does that mean, Dee?
Sorry, what was that, Alex?
I hear that grey dealers are buying at 30.
I hear that grey dealers are buying at 30. Do you want to elaborate on that, Dodger?
Oh, offering to buy at 30. 30% off.
What RRP is he getting at, sort of thing?
I don't know.
Doesn't sound right, does it? Okay.
Oh, go on.
I've got it. Right. So, hey Dee, loving your content, sir. As you know, I've been following your channel for many years and wanted to share my news with you. I won't mention the name of the AD, where I have been a buying history. They bought my Air King off me as I paid 5150 back in 2017 from the actual AD that I visited, and they offered me 7150. The process took 6 days, and the money is now in my account.
Okay, so let me just write this: 6 days. And how much did they offer him? How much did he sell it for?
7150, and it retails back in 2017. He believes at 5150.
Okay. 5150. Okay.
He's gone into detail and he's given me specific, time and dates there. I got a call today and they have asked me to collect the Submariner or the Explorer too. I'm shocked.
Really?
They stated as I was a loyal customer as I bought the Speedmaster and a few other pieces, they want to help me reach my goals and give back. My Air King was going for 10 to 12k on the grey market, but going back to the AD saved me thousands on my latest edition. What are your thoughts on this? Wow. Now look, I don't know if this is true. I don't know this guy from Adam.
But at the same time, what's his agenda if it doesn't make any sense? I believe you've spoken to him, didn't you?
I did speak with him. I had a reasonable good conversation with the lad. I don't think he's got any reason to lie, or why would you? How would he benefit from that? To be fair,
look. Are we okay? You okay to get the link for Dodger? He wants to come on.
Yeah, of course, absolutely fine, buddy.
Right. Now, let me just say this. Yeah, let's say that if that is fact, we have to say allegedly at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hearsay at the moment, though.
Yeah, 7150, and wasn't it the blood? Is it the bloodhound one?
The bloodhound one, yeah, the one that I've got. Actually, believe it or not, yeah.
So the bloodhound one would go for, say, a bit more, if not a lot more, if he sold it private. Yeah.
2017, probably, I don't know, 8.5, 8.9.
Yeah.
8-9 grand, no more than that.
So they pay quite high for that watch, if that's how much it's going for, but they can afford to pay quite high. Now, the fact is that if he did sell it at grey, say, and did get more, he still has to pay over the odds to get the other watches that he's wanted at over RRP. So he's far better off by selling to Watches Switzerland, isn't he?
Yeah, look, they've actually got him coming back. He may have had to, let's say, for example, they never had this offer. They didn't offer him this situation. He may have gone to a grey dealer, but the fact that they're offering this now has given him the opportunity to keep loyal to that specific dealer, if it is true.
So would you say that they're trying to keep loyalty for their customer and vice versa?
I think so. Just going back to Ian Nicholson, he said they offered him either the Sub or the Explorer too. It wasn't both watches.
You can't buy both, Ian. You have to buy one or the other.
I think it's one or the other, I think he mentioned. It'd be interesting to see if we can get this guy on and show us the watch. And that would be, I'd like him to come on, to be honest with you. Hey, Dodger.
Hey, Dodger, how are you?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, sorry, my keyboard's playing up. I get up to the 30, and for some reason it just stops and jumps. What I was trying to say is something I touched on when I was talking on another channel. I'm hearing a lot about. I was reading about Chrono 24's market update. And I was reading their market update on their magazine and looking at the pricing and looking at the stats. They're all saying the market's buoying and the hits of interest, i.e., people who are going in there and asking questions, and of sellers, etc., is extremely high at the moment. But on the other hand, within a lot of the chat in a lot of the tubes at the moment, you're sort of hearing that the grey market dealers are sort of offering 30% under the chrono list if you want to, let's say, sell to a grey market dealer. Typically, they're offering you up to 30% under, which is a lot more. So it used to be, 10, 15% to 20%, but it's almost as if the whole market's kind of stagnating at the moment, and I don't believe people are buying. And so I'm just sort of going around everywhere, sort of trying to talk to everybody and kind of get a feel for what people.
The thing is,
people just aren't buying.
No.
AD's sales are down. I know for a fact AD's sales are down. They're complaining. They're not happy.
If AD sales are down, then that means that the sales are down overall because they're coming from ADs. In a sense. But don't forget, Chrono 24 is going to be biased, and not only that, Chrono 24 are going, as far as I know, tell me if I'm wrong, they go from prices, not sold prices. Don't they go for prices that the watches are going for? They never go for sold prices.
They don't unveil.
They never
They
never tell you what their conversion rates are, what the actual sale prices are, and that's the real marker for what's happening in the market. But they won't expose that. They won't publish that.
No. So they're going to be biased, aren't they? They don't want to lose the custom, and their prices are way off.
Yeah,
the prices are always way off.
There's a lot of manipulation going on, isn't it? To be fair, with their prices, I think. Are they still independent? What's the deal with Chrono? Are they part of any bigger group, or
no?
Are you guys aware of? Are they still independent?
I suppose not. I suppose. I think they're independent. I don't think they're part of any big group like Watchfinder is. I don't think they're part of any group at all. But I've never liked Chrono 24 in terms of the way they come across on their prices, because it's very easy for me to control the prices. If I had 10 Daytonas or 10 Datejust, I can either push the prices down or I can push the prices up.
Yeah,
I can control the prices by having 5 to 10 pieces.
Look, we're panicking about the watch market, which is fair enough, but I think it's every sector, guys. I'll be totally honest and transparent with you. My recruitment agency has a number of different divisions, right? So we've got retail division, we've got health, we've got IT, we've got creative division, and I'll be honest with you, every sector has its problems, and probably the one that's been hit the most is the actual health sector. Finding people, lack of budgets. It's not just the watch stuff, I think the whole market has been affected with what's going on in the world, with the Ukraine situation, with the economy, the backdrop of what happened with COVID. Now we're feeling the side effects, and I think it's not something specific to what's going on in the watch market. It's just general economics, guys, I think, and we're seeing the domino effect now even affect the people, the middle class people that are the bulk of the sales for the mainstream Swiss brands, if that makes sense. And we're finding a situation where the guys that make up the money that those bulk buys, those volume sales, where the most profit margins are for these brands, are now being affected. And that's sort of filtered out to the secondary grey market. So I think it is temporary. It depends how long it goes on for, because I think we're in different depths of water here than we've ever been before. Because during COVID, everybody expected the Rolex bubble to burst, and it didn't. And it took the whole economy to feel the side effects of COVID, the war in Ukraine, and we're feeling it now. We're feeling the final hurdle, I think, and people are scared because there's a lot of negative publicity in the media. People are scared to pull the trigger on a luxury item. It's never been like that, and especially in London, Northern Ireland now have got higher GDP than best GDP in the UK at the moment because of their position in the market.
They can go both ways, can't they?
They do.
Yeah.
Why do you think Nico has teamed up with Watchfinder? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think he's timing is great for him, and his geographic position in the market. I would say he's in a bit like Cyprus. He's in a position where he's now pretty much hit the jackpot. Because I'm making an assumption here, but I assume it's a business strategy on Watchfinder's team to basically push for that to allow them to supply across Europe. Because Watchfinder are UK based,
isn't it? It's perfect, Dee, because me in Poland, I can deal with Nico and he can ship to me, and I don't pay any additional taxes.
There you go.
If Alex was to ship to me, I would have to pay additional tax on that. And likewise, if you guys deal with Nico from the UK, so what you could do is trade with Nico, send something to Nico. Nico could send it to me, and it's tax free.
Yeah. So Nico's got to make hay while he can. He's in a great position.
Yeah,
he's in a very unique position because this could all change. With Boris, Rishi Sunak could decide to change everything and put something through Parliament, to even things up. Because, let's be honest, Northern Ireland, Belfast, they've got it good right now. They're could become a business hub, the new Canary Wharf.
Could, yeah.
But we have to say
for them.
We have to say allegedly, well, we don't know for a fact.
We don't know. Look, I'm just giving an opinion here. Yeah, this is not fact. This is just my, I'm making an assumption from a business point of view, the reasoning behind it. But let's not forget, Watchfinder, they're a great seller.
They are. They've always
them. They're no different than him. They're just at a larger scale. You know what I mean? They want to do bit. I think good luck to them. Great opportunity for both parties. I think it's good news. Well done. Congratulations. That's what I would say to Nico in regards to that. If that is the case.
I've known about Watchfinder from the early days. I even went abroad with the owner at the time, Stuart Hennell, before he sold to Richmond Group. And I remember meeting him and I thought, this guy's going to go far because he was very direct, very professional, but he was a guy that you didn't mess around with. And I still got total respect for him because when I left Malta, I sold my contacts to him. So he was able to get watches and I was making a percentage on each sale. So we went over together and I introduced him to people I knew. And this was many years ago. And now he sold out. I think he still sits on the board or has some sort of connection to it. But he sold for a lot of money, but he worked hard. I have a total respect for him. He worked very, very hard. But I tell you now, he's a guy that if he doesn't like you, he tells you straight. And that's why I have total respect for him. And he's done very well. Very, very well.
Look, Watchfinder in every big shopping mall now, every high street, every town, city centre there. They've expanded to a certain extent, haven't they? They're doing really well. I mean, they've got really nice showrooms as well. They've got reasonably good staff working there as well. I have to say, they're a bit pricey, but I believe they offer quite well when you go in there, Alex. That's what I've been told. The prices they offer are quite reasonable.
I won't tell you what they offered for my IWC. It wasn't as much as I wanted.
Well, it never is, Alex, isn't it? It's like WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Yeah, well, maybe it's because maybe because what we think we've got is like the crown jewels, but it was pretty low. I'm not going to lie. But maybe if I walked in with the watch and they could assess it straight away and wanted it there and then to at least take it with them in terms of keep it and then pay, then maybe it's different. But it wasn't that much. But I will say, as far as I know, when Watches Switzerland announced their website, Watchfinder had to deduct their watches 10%, didn't they?
Yeah, it was an instant reaction, wasn't it? I was talk about dropping your pants down.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, they needed to do something to generate the traffic their way. Because what I noticed that the Watches of Switzerland group, you could see Goldsmiths, Map and Web, they were coming up, on the first page of Google in the top 3 pre-owned. When you type in looking for pre-owned Rolex or whatever it may be, it was either Watches of Switzerland, Mapping Web, Goldsmiths, all over the place. It was hard to see anyone else up there, to be fair. So no, it wasn't just only sponsored links, or it was up there, top 3. So they must be spending thousands of pounds to be at the top, because they're renowned for brand new sales. So if you type them in, first thing that was coming up was Mapping Web, Goldsmiths, Watches of Switzerland. But if you notice that the website is exactly the same for all 3 organizations, Alex.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think now the fact that Watches Switzerland is doing pre-owned, it's going to cause many issues for grey dealers, because they may offer you slightly less for the watches, but then they're going to offer you RRP on certain sports models. So almost
it's going to be interesting, right?
Yeah, look, I can only assume, but from that email you got, I would
need
say
more evidence, though. Yeah,
of course we need more. I'm not going to start like say, look, at the end of the day, I work for them and I know how they work, and I have total respect for them. I've been very fortunate to work with them. John Burns, who taught me when Watches Switzerland, Alan Bertolf in Goldsmiths, exceptional watchmakers, and I got to understand the workings while I was there, and I could see how difficult it was for even the big companies to have to jump hoops for Rolex and other brands, but especially Rolex. But if I was in the business, from my experience, I would offer, no, I wouldn't say low money for people's watches, but with the option of knowing that there's a chance, or if not indefinite, that they're going to receive a Rolex RRP, then what more do you want?
Yeah. If anyone does follow the Dee Time Love channel, or Alex or No Dodger, if you've had an experience similar to what that guy sent in, we would love to hear from you, to be honest with you, because I think there'll be, if we have more people come forward with the same sort of experience, it adds more credibility, to the story, if that makes sense, Alex. Yeah, if we see a pattern of how they're operating now on that side of the business. I mean, look, I haven't asked questions. I haven't fact-finded with them. I haven't involved, I haven't really spoken to them about it, to be honest with you. I didn't think it was my place, but I don't want them to know that I'm, investigating the situation and broadcasting information about it. That if they've got a new business model, I'm sure more people will come forward and let us know how they're finding the experience.
Listen, it's going to take at least 6 months, I think, before we start.
Maybe longer, Alex. I think the market is bad. Look, sales are down. I think maybe you'll see a lot more gifts being given away on the news side. They're talking about, was it Mont Blanc, carry case, pens, watch winders, all manner of things to tempt people. And I don't really know, it's a difficult situation if you're not a big grey dealer and you're stuck with stock. I do feel for them, because it was the heyday. I'm not saying it's disappeared, but it's like every sector. It's not just the watch world, Alex. This is what I'm saying. I've been affected, guys. I've been, the European referendum really hit my business hard. I had 11. Sorry?
It's hit a lot of businesses hard, to be honest. I mean, a lot of people that, I used to deal with when I used to be in business, I mean, they're all saying that people will be surprised that, how much business we've lost, how many relationships have been broken because of what's happened. They've just lost so much of the European marketplace. It's just closed to them for one reason or another. It's all closing in. That's just that whole breadbasket is closed up. Me myself, I part of my business was dealing with people in Europe and making money in Europe and paying tax in Britain on it. But that's gone now. Those opportunities are closed.
What did you used to do, Dodger? What was your profession? If you don't mind me asking that.
Kind of IT without going into massive details, but yeah. That's a marketplace where it's all different now. It's more difficult to. It's almost impossible now to operate.
Yeah, information technology, infrastructure, network security, I thought that was relatively safe because in the UK we're very much a head office for the world in terms of how we operate. But I've had clients that have said to me, "Dee, we can't operate with you now because you're in the UK. The only way we can operate with you, if you've got an offshore account in Jersey or Guernsey or Northern Ireland or whatever it may be, even parts of Microsoft that was based in Berkshire, the call center is based out of all places in Athens." I was like, Jesus, I must have misread that one, but they're selling it. They're selling the lifestyle experience, come and work in Athens. We give you affordable accommodation and come and work for us and live the Hellenic lifestyle.
Well, Dodger, where did you get your? Are we allowed to ask where you got your watch from? RRP.
Yeah, my hometown. It was the local lady.
What in Poland?
Mrs. Dodger had bought. So I had this. Long story short, I had a really bad accident, and I was hospitalised for over a month here at home, in the hospital bed. And she got me a Submariner, and she also got me an Amiga, pre-ceramic Submariner and an Amiga. Just
lucky man,
lucky man, yeah. But sadly, both of them, she brought them over here from England to Poland. Sadly, both of them had problems. The Amiga just died, just stopped, and the Submariner, the crown wouldn't pull out. I don't know, maybe it was bent or something. And so both of them had to go back. She'd purchased them secondhand from the AD. And he said, look, you've had some problems. We'd like to make things right. And he offered me what I wanted within reason, which meant that no, I couldn't have a Daytona. But he said within reason he'll try and get me what I wanted. So I chose. Maybe now I should have thinking about it. They had the bluesy because I like the blue, but I got this. Yep, at least.
Oh, the sub.
Yeah,
steel and gold.
Nice.
Was that recent?
Lovely.
Last year or so. Last year or so.
Yeah,
nice. Well, congratulations, Dodger.
Lovely, congratulations.
It was a matter of time.
Beautiful piece.
He said I would get. The only reason I didn't get a bluesy, he said it would just take me longer to get the blue one than the black one. So I'm not a great.
What, 2 times back anyway, Dodger?
Yeah,
it's a bit underrated, isn't it? To be fair, but it's a lovely piece, a lot more versatile.
Beautiful. No, I do like. So I've always been, 2-tone Dodger. My first watch was a date just back in 1988 when it was cool to wear. The stainless steel was like, oh, you're cheap. I mean, I'd love to debate stainless steel versus 2-tone because back in those days, if you got stainless steel, no, there's 2-tone, and then if you were God, you'd have the gold one, wouldn't you? That's the way it used to work. Steel entry level, and then you'd have your 2-tone, and then if you had the gold one, you were the boss. You were the boss man, weren't you?
That's it. Well, yeah.
That's the way it used to work back. But now it's stealth wealth. It's stealth wealth. You've got even platinum looks like stainless steel. So I think it's the fashion now to wealth is bad, and to show any wealth is bad. So let's all have really expensive stainless steel watches and not show any gold because that looks like it's.
Dodger is flexing now.
That's. I think if you had the stainless steel one, you'd be flexing, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, no. Look, that's a good piece. Nothing wrong with that, Dodger. That's a stunning piece you've got there, sir.
Yeah, but watching Paul Thorpe and what's happening in the UK, I think if I wore this, how long would I last? If I wore this out.
Yeah, look, unfortunately, I've had unfortunate things happen to me of late as well, and it's not great. You're not safe anywhere. You've just got to be vigilant. But look, I've not had any watches stolen, touch wood, but I've had a vehicle stolen. So I mean, what can you do? Your car's a lot harder to hide, isn't it? To be fair, but technology's changing, and for the worse. To be fair, it's actually easier for them to steal these cars than what it was previously with these new. Yeah.
Do you think you'll get
technology? Yeah, that's what I thought as well. As technology evolves and the criminal minds utilize their expertise to hack and whatever. It makes life a lot easier for them. But I mean, so you bought that piece in London, Dodger? Is that correct, or
No,
UK?
no, in the Midlands. In the Midlands.
In the Midlands. Okay. And how long ago was that, if you don't mind me asking?
About a year and a half ago.
Fantastic.
But as I say, mainly because he was had a guilty conscience. I don't know. It wasn't his fault. I mean, obviously they didn't know. They just buy the watches, put them in the shop front, and if they go wrong, they go wrong, and they send them off.
Yeah.
But it was a long wait. Both the watches had to disappear for about 3 months, and yeah. So nice one. Right? I felt I was first. The one went wrong, and then the other one went wrong.
Yeah, that's pretty unlucky, to be fair.
Yeah,
you've had a bit of a bad time of it in regards to that, but you're lucky in the way that you've got the pieces in the first place. To be fair,
I'm lucky I've got a Mrs. Dodger that bought them for me.
Yeah, but you know what I'm finding? I'm finding that the market we're dealing with human beings, right? So I think as the market gets more difficult, you'll see the good, the bad, and the ruthless AD managers, how they approach things, their different management style, and we'll see different ways of them trying to hit target, to be honest with you. This is what I honestly believe. When the market gets tough, you see a different method, a different mythology from each manager. Not everybody's the same. They'll be trained up. They'll try and think out of the box, be a bit more creative. I wouldn't be surprised if you see ADs resort to different methods than they've ever used before. I probably expect there's going to be a lot more so-called VIP events going on, inviting their previous customers in that have got a good or reasonable purchase history, or some people that are on the brink, that are on the waiting list, to come in to the store and give them a 5-course meal type service, Alex. I've been invited to a few already, to be fair, so I'm looking forward to eating.
For me, it wasn't coincidence that Watches Switzerland decided to go live at the time when prices were dropping. I think that was done on purpose.
It's a good moment, isn't it?
People don't realize that Watches Switzerland are humongous. The money reserves they have is incredible. So I personally think that they will take over a majority of the pre-owned market. Now, I have no bias in this. Actually, it goes against my future plans. I won't say goes against, but it doesn't help my future plans for authentication, for a platform for buying and selling. But also at the same time, it's not against me, but I totally respect that they're trying to regulate the market in a way. They're just trying to regulate. They're trying to show some sort of regulation. I think this is their way of doing it. Because they're probably, and by no means am I trying to disrespect grey dealers. I'm not. I know some fantastic grey dealers. But, but also there's some rather interesting characters of grey dealers that doesn't fit with the way watches are sold. I don't think that's wrong to say that. Especially with all this Instagram and YouTube and certain people getting their backpacks and running around London, not paying their tax, not paying anything, flipping. And then, I mean, I'm sure these big companies are like, what is going on here? This is not what we want.
Yeah, it's a bit of a clean-up act. They're trying to sieve out the good and the bad, aren't they, really? Even with the ADs. Even in-house, internally, it's like they're getting rid of a lot of dead wood, Alex, I would say. It's like, okay, we've let this go on long enough. We're going to get rid of the dead wood. This is our plan. This is where we see ourselves in the next 4 to 5 years. And I'm recruiting for a social media content creator. That's we're talking about being on Instagram and TikTok and all this. They're talking about someone who's can take photographs, do TikTok, can do YouTube, can write blogs, Alex.
Yeah.
So they've identified that social media is the way going forward, because they don't really have a massive presence. I don't think have they even got a YouTube channel? I don't think they have.
No, Watches Switzerland?
I don't think they even have.
No.
For example, can you imagine, like most very small businesses now are on social media. So they're throwing throwing their weight around. They're just showing what they can do when the professionals get involved. And it's not disrespecting other people in the trade, but these guys are funded by their country. If they were to go, if they had financial difficulty, the Swiss government would get involved and bail them out. Alex, yeah? This is how important they are to that country's economy, to be fair, yeah? They're the biggest authorized dealer there is.
Yeah, look, like I say, I worked for them for many years ago when I believe it wasn't bought out. As far as I remember, it was private. And it was a time when watches weren't as popular as they are now. I'm 39 now, even though I do look 29. More or less. Come on, help me out, guys here. Come on.
Toothpaste. Alex is all organic. Toothpaste is hummus. His moisturizer is olive oil.
Olive oil,
yogurt. Yeah, yogurt. I mean, when I used to come downstairs, my dad had yaourti, which is like yogurt in Greek, all over his face. I'm like, what are you doing? I still want to look young. I'm like, my God.
Yeah, I keep my good looks at 60 because I used to use the olive oil because we never used to have suntan lotion back in the 70s. It was olive oil, you see. That was a suntan lotion. So, yeah, you can see my good looks are down to the olive oil.
It's all about diet, Dodger.
First press.
It's all about the Suvla is key.
Bit of Suvla.
I don't need all these supplements like Alex. I get it all natural.
I eat the souvlaki. What about the Suvla?
I keep it clean. It's called clean living. I don't need, AstraZeneca that created the anti-vaccine to start creating my supplements as well. I go in there and I slaughter and I put it on the charcoal, my friend. Restaurant grade A. None of this oils and fat lard. Sprinkle my herbs and that
like
on
salt
top.
B. Salt B. Yeah.
I might start doing that.
They'll do the Italian now. That's wrong.
But yeah, I would.
Dzień dobry. Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry panu, jak się trzymasz?
So yeah, I worked for them in my early 20s, which was a different time then. But now,
Chevaliers, sorry.
Chevaliers, you can't be Chevaliers. My mom's Chevaliers. Yes.
Well done. Ian is the man. Ian knows. Ian, I don't know. I swear, we look at his family tree, we're going to find that, Ian could be like a Telly Savalas.
Ian is a Gumbaro, he's a Gibreo,
Zorba the Greek.
Bravo.
Yeah, so I worked for them years ago, and it was different time, but now they're humongous. I mean, they're everywhere. They've got they're not going anywhere. But I would be worried if I was a grey dealer and I paid the huge prices, the over RRP prices for the Olive Day date, as Spencer was saying, because he's been honest.
Spencer was very honest. Let's be honest, right? I was on the live stream with Paul Ford, but I have to say, Spencer, he just come out and just said the truth. You've got to respect him for that. A lot of people trying to cover it up, and Spencer's in a position where he's probably got a lot of revenue behind him to cover any losses, and he goes again and just cracks on with it. You know what I mean? You take a loss and you take a win, don't you? This is how it is. You can't win all the time. Life isn't about winning all the time. It's about learning the market and just cracking on. And I think he'll be all right. But like Alex says, the guys that are new to the game, who bought high and they've got all their eggs in one basket, it's going to be hard to recover.
I used to think there's this saying, when the shoe shiner is giving you advice on stocks and shares, you need to leave. You need to get out of it.
Yeah. If your plumber's giving you advice, yeah.
If my dad started saying, "Hey Alex, you should buy a day," I'm like, okay, I'm out now. Because when it's that common, I think then it's too concentrated, isn't it? That's what I would say.
Well, it's no longer a secret. The secret's out. No. Everyone's onto it, and that's when it dies down. But Yeah, so I just mentioned someone in the comments mentioned that Watchers of Switzerland do have a podcast, but it's not not much content comes out. So they've got it up and running. I guess let's see what. Maybe I'll get the call, Alex. Who knows? Maybe I'll be on the podcast. You never know.
Can you imagine you were actually on the show for Watchers of Switzerland?
Look, I've got a big announcement to come out of that, but I can't reveal yet. But guys, it will be announced very soon. Something very, very interesting, very intriguing, which involves a film crew, Alex.
Oh,
can you imagine?
really?
We're going to be like, they might get the red carpet out for us on the premiere. It will be fun. I mean,
top secret.
Top secret. You know, the Greek James Bonds.
I believe a lot of people have been after it, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was chosen because I'm the authority, apparently. Whatever that means.
Credit to you. It just shows, that you know your stuff and you got your ear to the ground, and it's not all about the amount of subscribers that you have. It's about the quality of what you're producing as well. So,
it's substance, isn't it?
It's like any commodity that you're trying to sell. It's the quality that counts. And people wanting to have that product. It's
exactly. Yeah,
wanting that product.
But I do believe that the market is going to change significantly, but it's going to take a duration. But I do feel bad for the people that have bought extremely high, especially the dealers. Because it was getting crazy. It was just going too
overheated. Overheated. I think the market's been overheated. So, guys, what do you think? Which way is it going to go? How far deeper do you think this will go? Or the price? Do you feel that it's reached the bottom, or do you think it's got much further to drop?
Well, I keep saying it, and I'm going to say it again and again and again. Pre-ceramic, because they no longer produce pre-ceramic, whether it's papers or non-papers, as long as you paid a fair price, you're not going to lose. And that's where the money has always been. Having said that, there was a Fat 4 that went out, I think at Philips, that was apparently factory stickered. And I can't remember if it went for $35,000 or 35,000 sterling.
35,000 US dollars.
Before the commission, yeah? Commission.
Yeah, I think it's before commission. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They won't.
Yeah, all
never,
their sell prices are before commission, and that comes out after.
They don't announce that. I know Jonathan was saying it was in the catalogue in that, but I don't think. I don't know. I wasn't follow. I don't really follow the auctions, to be honest with you. If anyone can help us out in the chat, but normally,
Jonga says 35K USD.
But that's before commission.
That's before commission.
Jonga's asked if we are going down to the Brighton show, and I politely declined.
I would love to come, but with my recent circumstances, I'm going to be staying with the family because it's not been that long since I've just got to sort out my property, and I've got people coming around with security and stuff like that. But I'm not saying I love Brighton. I'll be honest with you, I've had very fond memories of Brighton, and at some point we'll head down there for sure. Yeah,
I've been to Brighton. It's a beautiful place. But I won't be going at that time. Uncle Jonga, but Nico at Pride and Pin is selling a flat for Kermit for 41,500 as used. Well, the thing is that if you have the subscribers and the notoriety that Nico does, then you're going to be paying higher price. It's as simple as that. Because that wouldn't sell at 41,500 on Chrono 24. But because of who he is, obviously his prices are high. I think that's fair to say.
Look, I think with Nico, he's probably got a really good portfolio of clients, to be honest with you. And if they, if he tells them a price, they probably wouldn't even question it, to be fair. I know other great dealers that deal with the local footballers, celebrities, from the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, who've bought watches from them, and they price high, but it's all about the experience that they provide. They're not even on YouTube or anything like that, So,
exactly. I mean, if a watch dealer is willing to show his face and be that open, then the chances of any issues will either be resolved or be non-existent, because he's that, he's that exposed. It's these fly-by-night dealers that you have to be very careful of, that are not willing to give you an invoice, or they're on the. I mean, when I got watches in for verification, you should see some of the stuff that's put on the invoice, or part exchange, customer part exchange a watch, but it's the wrong watch that's part exchange on the invoice for the accountant of the dealer. And it's just crazy things I used to see, or a custom dial, but it's not mentioned as a custom dial, or a fake. When I say fake, I mean custom bezel is not mentioned, or is mentioned, but in a way that person wouldn't know. It's not explained to them. By the way, you do realize that there's one particular company that's terrible for it. Even from this day, they're still doing it. And I have to tell the customer, look, this is not authentic. The dial is not original. The bezel is non-original. But they keep doing it. They keep doing it.
I mean, this is the problem, isn't it? I mean, even I've spent some years now on these tubes, and I've tried to learn from people saying what you should watch out for when you're buying an antique. But I still would never be comfortable in looking at a watch and thinking, well, that dial matches that watch, and it's not an aftermarket. I just don't have the skills to be able to do that, even after years of trying to get involved in the watch space and the watch community. I still haven't picked up enough to be able to make that judgment myself if I'm out to buy something. If I was out to buy something from a dealer, I couldn't realistically, my skill set, I can't tell. I'd have to send it to you, Alex, first and have it checked. I still don't feel comfortable there. And so, people aren't saying it's an aftermarket diamond dial. I wouldn't know any better.
Well, that's how we met. That's how we met, isn't it, Dodger? That's how we met.
That's how we met. You helped me out.
Yeah. I did a live stream of an authentication for a particular watch for you that came from a particular company.
Dodger,
yeah, and that was, what were you going to say?
What I was going to say, Alex, that I deal with quite a few watchmakers, and there are different tools that a watchmaker can use that not very unlikely any grade dealer will have access to when they're authenticating diamonds and the steel of Rolex, even Omega now. They can tell whether it's genuinely been made by Omega, or especially Rolex, because that's where they start these tools. Have you got anything like that, Alex? I assume in your workshop that you can test if it's actually from the factory. Now, a lot of people don't realize this, but this is the difference, right?
Yeah.
And the watchmaker goes, there's a lot of people that they just check it with a lube, and they think they don't know what they're, Alex can test the stone and tell you, and the metal, and say to you straight away that this is a Rolex product.
The metal doesn't lie. Yeah, the metal doesn't lie. The only way that they can get through that is if they heavily plate the metal with the certain special steel that Rolex have, which is their own refinery. Now, for them to do that, I'm sure one day they will do that. But at this moment in time, there's certain ways we can check. So I will check certain ways on the bracelet. I'm not going to say how, but there's certain things that they still cannot get right from now. And it's the most smallest details that they can't get right. And then we check the steel. So I do all those checks, even if it fails other checks. I still do them all. I don't just do one check and go, oh, it's failed on that. I'm not going to check anymore. I do all the checks.
Yeah, so the biggest thing that comes up, they said to me, Alex, was even the screws on the Oyster bracelet. Most of them are not real. That's the biggest problem. Like, you go to a guy who's not, just a general self-made watchmaker. He buys the screws, God knows, from eBay, and he just does what he wants and he fixes them. And then it goes to a proper watchmaker. Goes, look, this is not even the original screw, and you wonder why you've got a problem with your bracelet. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, you could get watches that are real, but there may be one link that's fake.
Oh, yeah. There's loads of them about, let's be honest, on eBay, and
or vice versa. I've had a fake Rolex that came to me where it's completely fake, but it had a real link in it.
Jeez.
I've seen some crazy
What did
stuff.
you do? Did you give them? How did you tell the guy? Did you say, the good news? The good news is your link is real, but the bad news is that the rest of the watch is fake.
Well, I can't say too much, but I was asked by certain authority to check the watch due to the person.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I can speak more about that once I'm registered with them. But yeah, that was, they wanted to know everything. So yeah, it was actually a real link in a fake Daytona, which is nuts.
Real link in a fake watch. I guess it's
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, like an amateur, if you're a hobbyist like me, if you're somebody who enjoys watching, there's a big difference between that and being a professional that handles a real watch. Every day you're handling watches. And so, of course, you're going to immediately know if something's not right. But for somebody like me, that's almost impossible. If I was to go and look at a GMT, I've never really handled a GMT before, ever. I wouldn't have a clue. I just wouldn't.
Well, it happens to me, Dodger, where it wasn't that long. Well, it was actually it was over a year ago easily. I had a customer that wanted me to service his Rolex, and when it came in, it was I think it was a ladies. Or no, it was a mid-size stainless steel Datejust, and the bezel was fake, the dial was fake, the crown was fake, the bracelet was fake, and the valuation on it was fraudulent.
Yeah.
Because it was valuing it at the price of what it would be if it was original. So that's, for me, a class that's fraudulent. Tell me if I'm wrong. And the person that valued it was the person that sold it to him. Now, that was sold to that person over 7 years ago, and I managed to get every single penny back for him.
Oh, fantastic.
Now, luckily enough, I've not had one report declined or valuation decline, one report on a watch declined, because I say to them, show me evidence that I'm wrong. I'm willing to say, you send me evidence that I'm wrong in what I'm saying on this report, and I'll look into it. They never do. They just give the money back. They get a bit annoyed at first, but they give the money back.
So what you're saying, they know these guys, Alex, or what you insinuating me? They knew, or it was just ignorance sort of thing?
I don't know. Personally, if these people are saying that they're watch dealers and they're letting things like that go through them, then who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's just ignorance.
Look, the thing is, right, I've had stories from other grade dealers when they first started out in the watch game. They all get stung with a fake watch. It's all part of the learning curve, Alex. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm getting at? I mean, if you've not got someone as a mentor, then you're learning on the job. That's when mistakes happen, right? Yeah. So you just suddenly decide, I want to do this, and I'm going in, without no experience. I'm just going to do my research. You've got no mentor. You go in, and then you're gonna find difficulties. But I guess that's where this is where you're only as good as your network, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like, work to your strengths, but employ to your weaknesses. And so I'm more than happy to, if I feel weak in my knowledge, I'm more than happy to employ, because to pay somebody, let's say, a fixed amount to make sure what I'm buying is legitimate, that's worth every penny. I employ to my weaknesses, and my weakness is, if I was to buy a GMT, but let's say it's an older GMT, I wouldn't have a clue. So I'll pay to cover my weaknesses in knowledge there, and to be sure that I've got a quality product on my wrist.
The thing is, Dodger, it becomes difficult for me at times, because I know the person that they sold the watch. I know the person that sold the watch to the client. Do you know what I mean? I know the company.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they're like saying, Alex, why are you doing this? But no matter how much money you give me, I ain't going to change that report. I've even had a dealer that I basically told a condition report, authenticity and condition report on a watch, and the dealer rang me the next day saying, hey, Alex, would you like to do some work for us? I went, no, because he got the report and he wasn't happy with the report I gave. He tried to sweeten me up. He tried to make a conversation. It wasn't a coincidence. because he wasn't happy with the report I gave.
Wow. So you're probably going to get a little more of this, Alex, to be fair. The way
Oh,
things are going.
listen, I've had
more and more.
I've had certain threats as well where I wouldn't change nothing. So, and look, I then lose. I'm not saying I do a lot of work for dealers, as in grey dealers. I don't even like to use the word grey dealers because I don't think it's right. But I've lost. Yeah, I've lost any. I've lost any future business with them because they're like, right, okay, well, we're not going to use you as a watchmaker anymore. I'm not okay. I'm not going to lie. It's just how it is.
Yeah. Look, if I find that, it's in any business, I've got a client come in and they wanted me to do underhanded stuff and do things that could damage your reputation, then that's not a business partner you want to continue collaborating with, Alex, yeah?
No.
They've answered really, down the line, if they get in trouble, you're going down with them.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
It's not how I work. It's never how I've worked. I mean, like no Rolex, no sex says, do you do an assessment during the service, Alex? What do you do if a customer brings a franking watch? So I will charge an assessment. If I look at the pictures on an email or if the watch comes into me, I say, look, there's a few issues with this watch. I'm not willing to work on it until an assessment's done. So I usually charge about 180 plus VAT, depending on the watch, or I charge certain prices, and then I give them the report. Now, I'm still willing to work on the watch if, say, the dial is non-original, class as custom, and if the bezel is. If it starts going anything more like the bracelet or if it's the movement, then I'm not touching it. But if it's more of like certain custom parts that have been fitted, like the bezel and dial, I say, look, the bezel and dial are non-original. I can give you the option of changing it to original, but I will know that it's non-original and certain warranties I won't be able to give on these parts because they're non-original. But I'm still willing to work on the watch. But if it's like the movement's fake, or if it's a complete fake, a complete fake watch, I don't touch it. But if it's just
I'm going to carry on from this, Alex. I'm going to put in a bit of an uncomfortable situation in a minute, just to give you a heads up.
Myself, Alexandros Foti, and Perpetual-Time, we do not work on fake watches. But watches that may have had... Go on.
Let's say I came to you with a watch which was a vintage piece.
Yeah.
And I paid you handsomely to fix it. But it was a franking watch and you couldn't find the parts. Genuinely, you couldn't find the parts from the crown or whatever. What would you do? Would you say to me, this is not the right part, but still fit it into the watch? How would you approach that scenario? You can't find the parts for this watch, but you've got a customer that's adamant. He wants you to get it up and running and working, Alex.
I won't touch it. I'm not
so you decline it, yeah?
100%.
That's what I wanted to hear, yeah.
10, 20 grand. Yeah. I'm not interested because my name goes on that watch. I had one customer, I'll never forget it. Now you mentioned that, I had one customer who said to me that he wanted me to take a link out of his watch. And he got the train from Manchester to Liverpool for me to take a link out of his watch. And he walks in and he has the watch all nicely tucked in like a sort of cloth and gives it to me. And I said to him, I'm sorry, but we don't touch fake watches. Not even, what, you want him to take a link out? I went, no. I said, why have you come all the way from Manchester for me to take a link out? And he was demanding an invoice. So what he was trying to do was, because I looked at the watch and he was wanting an invoice, he was going to use that as a way of me looking at the watch. So he wanted some paperwork. That's as far as some of these people go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is there that much value in parts? I mean, I've got bits and pieces knocking around. They're original.
Well, it's not really helping that you're using your fingers to touch the dial, but...
well. No spare parts.
Yeah, listen, Those dials go for good money, but don't be touching them with your fingers.
Oh, okay. Is that not right?
No.
Okay.
So talk me through, Alex. Those dials.
Look at the Rolex bags. Rolex.
Those vintage dials that you get on the Datejust. Talk me through what are they painted? How are they made? There's a difference between. There's a big difference between the new and the old ones. I was told in terms of the process of how they were finished.
It's very well. This is like sunburst. It's really.
That's what I mean. The sunburst.
That's on my old Datejust. I swapped it for a Roman numeral white dial. Got the hands. I have lots of collections of links and things, linky things, and yeah, they got the hands. I won't take Alex. I won't take those out of the bag. They're just tiny. You can barely see them in there.
How come you got a set of hands though? I'm just surprised that you got those. Why have you got the dial and hands?
Because back in 1988, I bought the Datejust. In about 1990, I swapped the champagne face and hands for a white numeral dial on the Datejust, and they returned Rolex bags. That's when they used to return the parts.
So the good old days when they used to give your old parts back, they no longer do that anymore.
So there's hands and there's a dial they returned. Yeah, they used to do that.
They no longer do that anymore. They basically now, if you change your dial, they will not give your old dial back or your hands back. Now, I don't have that regulation unless the person that I buy the original Rolex factory parts from says that I have to. So maybe like the main plate, I might have to be on exchange. But yeah, I try and give everything back unless it's on a part exchange basis.
Yeah.
But then the customers are not bothered. Yeah, they go for like 20, 30 quid or something ridiculous. Yeah.
Well, it's quite nice.
It was the good old days. Maybe we're getting old now because you reminisce the good old days. It wasn't that long ago, really. What we're talking about, going back 7 years, Alex, when you could walk into an AD and pick something up.
It was longer. I think it was longer.
Was that long ago? No, hold on. I think back. I think maybe 2016, 2017. Well, that long ago, is it?
No,
we're talking about.
I think it was longer than that, isn't it?
I don't know. Let me think. Because I had once an office in Brent Cross on the outskirts. It's actually where Cypress Airways, believe it or not, where it was based. And I used to go Brent Cross on a daily basis. Bit of Wagamamas as we do.
Oh, what do you have at Wagamamas?
Oh, just to go all out, mate. I used to go for the lamb.
I used to have the chicken katsu. I used to have the chicken katsu and the ebikatsu and duck gyoza. And then when I finished, I used to go to my parents and eat. And my missus be like, how can you do that? Like, Mom come out, hey, you want to eat, Alex? Nambuthelis nadrois. We've got super, I've got lemon, trahana, cheftaliers, gyro, everything you can imagine. So, honestly, and I'll sit there and eat, even though I just had a Wagamamas. But the best thing is I used to have one of those cards. I think it was High Dining. I can't remember, High Life card.
Fine Dining?
High Life card, where if you walked into Wagamamas, you get 50% off.
Mm-hmm.
So I used it twice in one day, and they banned me. I walked in twice in one day and had 2 chicken katsu.
Delicious, greedy man.
So they just, and there's on the back of the card was a number for each restaurant, and if they cross it out, it means they're not willing to serve you again. And they crossed me out. So I just went to the other Wagamamas in Manchester.
You got banned from Wagamamas. Are you banned from Nando's?
No, because it's well, listen, I'm not banned from anywhere, but they wouldn't let me use that card in the Wagamamas on which.
I need my protein today.
No, listen, it was over 1,000 calories per dish. Those chicken katsu curries, the worst thing.
Oh, they're lovely though, aren't they? They're
but it's the worst thing. It's the worst thing you can eat.
Yeah, it's all good, mate. It didn't stop me from eating them, mate. What you don't know doesn't hurt.
Oh man.
Is that Turkish restaurant still going in Liverpool? Is it still going, the Turkish place?
Ali. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Oh, it was fantastic
Beautiful.
food. The barbecue there was just fantastic.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. The food there
Yeah.
is heavy, but it's nice, isn't it?
Oh yeah, as a treat. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Ooh,
What's it
what a
say?
blowout.
Don't you? Nearly walked out with a Sea Dweller 4K and didn't bother. How stupid was I? They were only in production for 2. They were only in production for a year or 2. Is that right?
They were, yeah, that's correct.
Oh,
Yeah, they
wow.
were. That's the big one, isn't it? To be fair,
Mm.
that's the
Oh,
was it the
wow.
44 millimeter?
Yeah, but Danny, you
They're
weren't supposed to
fantastic
know.
pieces.
You weren't supposed to know. Who was
I even
saying?
rejected Hulks
Danny
to me
knows
back in
his
the day.
stuff, Tony.
Who was to know? Eh? Who was to know? I mean, that's pre-ceramic that he's talking about, right, guys? I think that's the. I think we're 1 hour and 20 minutes. Got 148 people watching. Anyone's got
Wow.
any questions? We got any questions? Anyone in the chats? Dodger, D, as well.
No.
Well, I'd just like to
My
say
question
it's
got
been a
answered.
good random stream. To be fair, relaxing amongst friends.
Cool.
The weather
Fun
is
to
looking good in the UK at the moment, isn't it, Alex? To be fair, so I expect you to be coming in with a fake tan soon.
Me, fake tan.
Spray tan. You got any spray boots?
No,
Yeah.
I go on the beds for like 3 or 6 minutes.
Look, not pre-ceramic, Alex. 2015. Told you. That's the
Oh, what, for
I told you that.
$4,000?
Yeah, that's what they used to go for, Alex. They weren't that expensive. They were like Tudor
No,
prices, mate.
not
Yeah.
2015 for $4,000.
$4,000.
No,
You have to look back.
Probably
no.
about you're looking at 5.5.
I don't know,
Might be old new stock, Regumbare. Might be old new stock.
No,
They
I
had
don't
that
know.
situation. They didn't sell well, did they? Those Sea Dwellers, to be fair, back in the day, they weren't loved.
Well, that was the time.
No,
I remember when the Hulk was out, people were taking the green bezel out and swapping it for a black one.
I still think the Hulk's ugly. I'll be honest, it's just too much. I don't like it.
You don't
I
like
got
it?
offered one, and I was like, I didn't want it.
I still don't want it.
Green. I don't like green. You know, I was like,
I don't mind a green dial in a gold watch, but I just don't like the Hulk. Never did. And I'll be honest.
How the market influenced our minds.
I don't care about
Hey,
the
Jay.
money. Hey, Jay.
Look.
Jay in the house.
He meant the Sea Dweller 4,000, $6,500.
Oh right.
But
yes,
I still don't believe that was a ceramic, was it?
That is a ceramic. Of course it is, Alex.
But 2015.
The other one was 1,000 meters.
2015 would have been ceramic. Yeah, I keep thinking of the
ceramic,
crate. Yeah, 4,000. Yeah, okay, sorry.
That big fat one, isn't it? The big boy.
Yeah,
the big boy.
big
One.
boy.
Big one, yeah.
Nice watch.
I love
Big
that
boy.
watch. It's fantastic.
Mm.
It's like a big
Too
block.
big for me.
I think I'll wear it better than you personally, but you know, can't have everything, can you? Do?
Well, it's a matter of opinion, mate.
You need to be a big man to wear a big watch like that.
Exactly.
My limit's probably this, the 41. That's just about it, really.
That's a beautiful piece. Christopher Wall got IWC.
We've got the eyeball flexing now. We are.
I don't know if I'm flexing, to be honest, but this is like I've just put on something because it's the only watch I've got at home at the moment. To be
By
fair.
the way, guys, I was going to be selling my IWC. So if anyone's interested in buying it, let me know so I can buy my Bulgaria Octo Finissimo.
I need to get it authenticated first.
Yeah, mate. Alex, whatever you do, make sure you're authenticated.
I don't want no bias. I don't want any bias here, mate. I need to get
Alex, pay the money, get it authenticated.
Yeah, no,
I'm going to my boy Philippe, mate. He's probably told me it's fake because he doesn't like it. What are you doing with me, man? He's got a fake IWC. The only guy that owns a fake IWC.
They actually make fakes of these. They actually make fakes of these.
They make
Really?
fakes of everything, don't they?
As well.
But the 7-day doesn't work on it,
Giuseppe Bruno, good evening, gents. We've got brothers in time in the house.
Ah, Giuseppe.
God,
you want to jump on, Giuseppe?
Jump on, come on, Giuseppe.
We can spare another half an hour, an hour.
Of course we can, yeah.
I'm not doing anything. If I was in bed by 1 o'clock, I'll be able to get up in the morning, because at the moment I'm on a borrowed time, it feels like. Drop the link.
Oh dear.
Let's put the link out.
Hey guys, I've got to hop off. Anyway, it's been good. Thanks for bringing me on. It's been really good. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Hope to talk to you all again soon.
Dobranoc.
Dobranoc. I have to find out what that is in Greek. That's my mission.
No, that's Dobranoc is good. It's bedtime, and you want to go to bed, right?
It's good night. Dobranoc is good night.
Kalinikta, yeah, in Greek. Yeah.
Kalinikta in Greek. Yeah.
Is it Kalinikta?
Kalinikta, yeah.
Kalinikta. Nicht, nice. Yeah, nicht. Yeah, perfect. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for answering my questions. Been great.
Problem.
Thanks.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Giuseppe, I'll have a Yorkshire strong, 2 sugars, please. He's just making a cuppa.
Cup of tea. Cup of tea. What else is there, Dee? Uncle Venda.
Listen, we've got a lot going on, really, haven't we? There's a lot of things in the pipeline, Alex, which is, I think, it's going to add a different dimension to the so-called watch community, as we call it. A lot of things happening. I can't wait to unveil them. As soon as I'm allowed to unveil, I will be unveiling everything, which is going to be exciting times for sure. Here we go. That's one for you, Alex.
Danny, I found the purchase from the pre-ceramic SD 4000 goals and I pay 3,000.
That sounds correct, Alex. No, that sounds correct.
Yeah, Danny sent me a pic of the watch.
Oh, mate, those were the days when we could pick up subs at Tudor prices.
Yeah, here it is. Look, so it is a ceramic.
Yeah, that's the best one. I love that one. That's the best one. No Cyclops, the big boy, 44. They're going for what now? 15? 15K? I would have thought
15,190.
A bit less than that, actually. I would have thought now. The current market, probably about 12, 13s. I would have thought. Maybe even 11s, to be fair.
Crazy money, isn't it?
You get a lot. It was great bang for buck, that watch, back in the day. It's a 4,000 meter water resistant watch. That's a weapon, isn't it, to be fair? That's the flagship. If you looked at it as a car, that would be the flagship Rolex dive watch for me.
Listen, pre-ceramics, I'm probably a bit biased, but I've always liked pre-ceramics, and the fact that they are holding their money. Like I keep saying, it's about what you pay, but if you bought the pre-ceramics, even if you buy the pre-ceramics now, I just can't see how they are going to go down, because they're not in production anymore, and they just seem to be a better long-term investment, in my opinion. I have to say, in my opinion, because I'm not I
think there will be a slight drop, Alex. I think it's like anything in life. There won't be drastic drops. There will be a slight drop across the border, I would say. I wouldn't say they're recession-proof.
Right,
Danny's going to...
No, well, nothing's recession-proof at this moment, is it?
I'm getting, at the end of the day.
Now then.
No swearing, Danny, okay?
I'll try my very best. You'll have to get your finger ready on mute.
Okay.
How's it going?
Right.
Good, yeah. Good. I've just come back from went to the gym, and then I spoke to my Gumbaro Dee, and we decided to do a just off the cuff live stream. We have no, you know what I mean? We briefly spoke about what we
didn't have no plans, did we?
Not in concrete, no. So we're not reading from a script.
Off the cuff.
We're just off the cuff.
Best.
All natural here. All natural.
Yeah. Nothing fake.
So it works best that way, I think.
Yeah.
I think so as well. So how's Danny?
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Are you good?
Yeah, good. Good. All good. Can't complain. Just tired from the gym. I need to go and have some food to eat. I had my had a Huel, and then I had a protein drink, and then I had a Huel. No, I had a Huel before I went to the gym, and then I had a protein drink after. But I want to get some
Neil.
Huel, Huel.
I said a Neil. What were you eating that stuff for?
I thought this guy's gone extreme. That's some sort of sushi. I thought.
No, eel. I eat eel.
I
have grilled eel.
I've never heard of before.
Grilled eel is nice. It's getting expensive though. Eel now. Tell you what, it's not a joke. Everything's getting expensive. Jesus, everything's getting expensive.
I forgot what they call the word, but like all giblets and stuff. It's expensive now, and like tongue and stuff like that. So
listen, it's the best thing you can eat. Giblets and parts of the cow and everything. You'd be surprised. The heart, all the cheap stuff is actually the good stuff. Good stuff to eat.
Sheep brain.
I don't know about the brains, though.
It's actually the good stuff.
Hey, Giuseppe, how's it going?
How are you?
Good, thanks. Oh, boys.
I don't know about the brains.
Yeah, not bad.
How's
mate,
it going?
Not bad. Hey, Giuseppe, how's it going?
How are you?
Good, thanks. Good.
Oh, you've got two windows open.
Yes. There we go. Sorry about it, guys.
No,
Giuseppe remix in the house.
Yeah, no. I thought I'd just go on YouTube and see what's going on, and I see you guys live streaming.
How's business, Giuseppe? I mean, we've been very, very honest, as we always have been. We've been honest about like certain grey dealers, how some are really good and some a bit, a bit not so good. But how's business for you?
To be fair, it's picked up the last couple of weeks. It did slow down from about March time. It really did take it did. We did notice the drop off. But yeah, last couple of weeks it's starting to pick up, not to the same level. But yeah, we're getting a lot more inquiries, positive inquiries. It's really good. So can't complain.
Is there a lot of people that are now wanting to sell to you?
Yeah, still getting a lot of people who want to sell. That hasn't stopped. Getting a lot of people offering stock. Some we buy, some we don't. Just got to find the right pieces, really, and go from there. Yeah.
Is it mostly Rolex ceramic?
It's a mixed bag, really. To be fair, Rolex Sport, most of them 50% Rolex Sports, Cartiers, a lot of Tudors, getting a lot of Tudors as well. Black Bays, some of the new stuff as well. Steel and gold, a mixed bag, really. To be fair, but yeah, predominantly I'd say Rolex.
Yeah.
Interesting, isn't it? Really, the market is. Listen, there's so much misinformation out there at the moment. A lot of grey dealers are saying one thing. Spencer was pretty honest the other night, yesterday. To be honest with you, I have to admit, I've got a lot of respect for him. He literally said it as it was.
Yeah,
to be fair,
100%,
you can't really
100%.
argue with that. There's no point trying to pull a wool over everybody's eyes. But I think honesty is the best policy in a situation like this, so you can manage potential customers' expectations. Because if you're then saying to them the market's all good, and then you're offering them a lot less money for their pieces, then that's a real contradiction to how you're managing the whole process.
Definitely.
So Giuseppe, how's things in general though? What have you been up to?
Just working, usual, grinding away. Just
Thanks for the meal the other night. That was a great. It was about a week ago, wasn't it? Just before I got done.
Yeah,
but
it
was great. Yeah.
Really.
So it's amazing. We were talking about the car, weren't we? And then suddenly, bang! Within a space of 7 days, bye.
Yeah, and that's, I know we spoke about it before, Alex, haven't we? About security. You as a watchmaker, you have a lot of stock there. Us as traders, I mean, we keep nothing at home. Everything's locked away in a bank safe. But you just don't know. People just get the wrong idea, think you have stock at home, or it's just you've got to be so careful.
Yeah. I mean, I have a one-person policy, and I make it sure that they do not bring anybody. I don't care if it's their son, daughter, dog, wife, whatever. I'm sorry. One person policy. There's no need for anyone more. There's no need for 2 people, 3, 4, 5 people to come in. Because it's not good. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know if they're sussing out the place. And I'm sure they've already sussed out my reception, but my workshop is separate from my reception. There's no need for them to come in into my workshop. The only people that can come into my workshop is people that I've had at least 3 or 4 years experience in the business with, and then they can come in. But there's no need for people to come in and start, because you don't know. You know, I mean, you can't tell who they are. And I'm not being disrespectful to my clients, but you know, I have to be careful of my safety. So it's strictly a one-person policy.
Yeah. We sometimes get issues where customers want to see 3 or 4 pieces at a time. That's a lot of money. And there's always 2 of us in the office, CCTV, and then we only then do 1 watch at a time. We don't bring everything out in one go. Sometimes there's 3 of us. My brother will be in the back office or somewhere else with the other watches, because you don't know. Someone could come across on the phone or on emails being offensive, but you got to treat everyone the same, really, for everyone's safety.
Yeah, you just don't know what's going on. You don't know if they might try and grab you, or they might run off, or and that's why the structure of the building is in a way quite confusing. The fact is, I'm heavily secured with alarms, also smoke cloak, magnetic doors, fully insured. It's no joke. It costs me a lot of money. But that's why people use me as well, because they know I'm heavily insured and I'm very secure.
I think smoke cloak's the one for me. Like I mentioned yesterday,
Yeah,
I've given it the green light, spoken to the family, and they're going to do a demonstration as well, how it's going to work when the alarm's triggered. And yeah, it's a scary world we're living in at the moment. That's for sure. There's too many praying eyes. We're potentially prey for quite a few people at the moment. So especially when we put ourselves out there, if that makes sense.
I totally agree. Ian Nicholson, how do you guys rate Ulysses Nardan? From a watchmaker's perspective, the problem with Ulysses Nardan is that the parts are restricted, full stop. They won't allow us to have any parts. They don't hold their value. However, they do make a freak watch, Ulysses Nardan Freak. Now, I was lucky enough to actually see that watch when it first came out all those years ago. And it's the most weirdest watch. And the reason why it's called Freak is because the movement, if you can imagine this in your head, you have to Google it and see. The movement tells the time. And what I mean by that is the movement is like, the actual movement doesn't have any hands, but the movement itself is the hands, and it tells the time. It's extremely complex. It's just the most weirdest looking thing. It's not everyone's taste, but it's very, very clever. But the more middle to lower end Ulysses Nardan watches, you can't get parts for them. So it has to go back to Ulysses Nardan, but they don't hold their value. From
which one I like? I think it's called the Hour Striker, the exotic.
Exotic, eh?
You know what I mean? It's like that. How can you argue with that watch, Alex?
Oh, wait a minute! I know which one that is.
Missionary,
huh? Okay.
missionary dial, they call it.
Yeah, I know that one.
That's a dial, mate. That's a dial. You can't argue with that.
I've just pulled up now to have a quick look at that one.
Ian will like that one.
Yeah.
Check it out. Our strike, Rigombare. Time to strike.
Right, guys. I think it's time to wrap up, isn't it?
Look, before we wrap up, let's let Giuseppe plug his company.
Of course.
Give us a little update, the name of the company, your website, and any interesting inventory that you feel the viewers are going to want to know about, Giuseppe. The stage is yours, my friend.
Just go to brothersintimeuk.com website and Brothers in Time UK on Instagram. Our stock is always changing. Have a look. Should we just want to have a chit chat? Just give us a call. We'll be happy to talk.
Fantastic. Giuseppe's the man. He's a trusted partner of the D-Time Love channel.
100%.
You know, he's a very good guy, very down to earth, and there's no BS in these guys. They're just general watch enthusiasts, and they love all levels of horology. So there's no snobbery whatsoever. Go and check out Brothers in Time. And guys, don't forget World Time UK. Time flies. So before you know it, it will be absolutely packed. There won't be room for any more potential punters, as we call them. So get in contact with me at the D-Time Love channel if you want to attend, and I'll get some tickets for you because it's free entry.
I'll be there, definitely.
Right, guys. Thank you for watching, and it's good night from us.
Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Right, Cheers. Bye.